yes, the Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo's second worst selling console. A console scoffed at because it used mini-discs. I mean, to be fair, that is really dumb and is one of the main reasons it didn't sell well. However, despite its shortcomings, the GameCube is a common favorite console, for me included. That may be because it has my two favorite games of all time, Luigi's Mansion and Twilight Princess. Or maybe it's because of how spectacular the controller is. Or, I mean, the startup screen is an added bonus too. And that made up for all the shortcomings. So let's take a look at the legacy of the GameCube, and definitely not get sidetracked at all while doing so. GameCube launched in Japan on September 14th, 2001, at a rather inconvenient time for global trade, 3 days after the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center, which is why Nintendo waited until November 18th, 2001 for it to come to the United States, and waited until February 2nd, 2002 to launch in Europe. The Cube launched with two first-party games from Nintendo in the United States, both of which I happen to own, Wave Race Blue Storm and Luigi's Mansion, the latter of which is the main reason I'm pursuing the GameCube a whole 18 years after its discontinuation. In December of 2001, Super Smash Bros. Melee launched, a monumental title that set the GameCube up for success for its first few months. However, heading into 2002, Nintendo launched two controversial titles from the Mario and Zelda franchises, one game each: Super Mario Sunshine and Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Mario Sunshine has some absurdly difficult levels and rather poor camera controls. And Wind Waker has cartoonish graphics, and when it first came out, it was scoffed at and hated on when demand was for a realistic Zelda game revealed at E3 2000. Nowadays, Wind Waker is much more appreciated than it was, and it has aged like fine wine compared to the Zelda game that came later on the GameCube. It still holds up amazingly, and was faithfully remastered for the Wii U in 2013. Later on in 2003, Nintendo threw Mario Kart Double Dash at us. The fourth Mario Kart installment is insanely stupid and is endlessly fun every time. I love this game to death, and it is impossible not to lose your mind while playing it. Also in 2003, we got Metroid Prime, which is definitely an attempt to compete with Halo. Nonetheless, it is a wonderful game, and now people only want more 3D Metroid games. 2004 saw both good, but also a lot of bad. We'll start with the bad. It was at this point that Nintendo and its developers had lost hope in the GameCube, cutting features and cutting the price. By this time, the DS was launched, and development for the Wii, the GameCube's successor, had begun, and perhaps the worst Nintendo-made Zelda game was released. This, of course, being Four Swords Adventures. But Nintendo ended off the year with a mic drop, releasing Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, perhaps one of the best RPGs ever made. And also the reveal for the greatest Zelda game ever, in my opinion, Twilight Princess, was shown, finally shutting up all the people complaining about Toon Link and Wind Waker and dooming Four Swords Adventures to obscurity forever. 2005 was the beginning of the end for the GameCube. At this point, only games like Mario Party, Mario Sports games, and third-party games like Madden and Tiger Woods PGA Tour were coming out. At this time, the DS was out, the GBA was being phased out, and the Wii was revealed and set to launch in the coming year. Twilight Princess's official trailer was shown at E3 2005, and then delayed until 2006 for release. 2006 was the last year of Nintendo's support of the GameCube, with Twilight Princess being the last first-party game launched by Nintendo, which came out on the Wii first on November 19th, 2006, and then finally came to the GameCube on December 11th, 2006. And with that, the torch was officially passed on to the Wii, and the GameCube was old news, forgotten in history. The final batch of GameCubes left the production line on August 11th, 2007, with the last game launching in the months following, Madden 2008. The GameCube left store shelves by mid-2008, and that's the end of its run. The GameCube sold 21.74 million units, underperforming majorly and placing third out of 4 in the 6th generation of game consoles, only beating the Dreamcast and narrowly losing to the Xbox, and all the rest were destroyed by the PS2 in total sales. However, since major selling points of the PS2, like DVD playing ability, are historical artifacts nowadays, people have come to appreciate the GameCube, with them now selling for up to $200 secondhand, more than they retailed for past 2003 when they came with Super Smash Bros. Melee for only $100. And the GameCube continues to live on with the RVL-001 Model Wii, which most people have if you bought one before 2011, and the Dolphin emulator on PC.